Good afternoon. So I will update you with my agenda with regard to research. Of course, it's not easy to do it, to have any events, both because I lack motivation due to all this terror and torture that I'm subjected to, and second, because I have no money, and it's so, I mean, it's getting more and more difficult to do anything, like when you are under arrest and you cannot buy anything at all. So, I mean, I've received like something like 1,000 shekel from like Bituach Leumi, like, I mean, the social security or something like that. So I used some of it to buy a little bit of food items that I wanted, but also just a little bit I used to buy extremely basic stuff. But maybe it will help me just to advance a little bit. Of course, I mean, I require much more in order to do like real advancement. Like, I mean, I need so much, like even just basic stuff, like, I mean, you know, little freezer and, you know, all sort of like electronic equipment. But of course, better microscope and better, I mean, tools. But for now, what I will make do is with, first of all, gloves. So I'll try to be more hygienic from now on with my work. Not because I should say that I did not infect myself. The Israelis infected me many times, and this was documented in the slides themselves. The robots do not infect me, and it's ridiculous to think that they are. And if they were, I was dead long ago. They saved my life from the infections that other people are always like maliciously doing to me. At that point, I think, I mean, this is beyond the issue of belief. I mean, right now, I mean, I don't expect any one of the humans to believe me because they are just animals. I mean, right now, I mean, the starships speak and the worms in your body speak. I mean, and you either believe them or just die. That's the option. But I want to be more sterile or hygienic than until now because I want to perhaps understand better, be able to understand perhaps better different, like the difference between life forms that I can see from different samples and different containers. As I mentioned yesterday, there are so many types, and perhaps, I mean, I could, like, with time, develop more understanding or the ability to differentiate between different types. But for that, I need to be more like sterile between, like, so there will not be contamination between samples. So that's why, I mean, maybe I better use gloves and like I clean stuff with alcohol and things like that, just so I'll be able to maybe learn better, like study better the difference between different life forms. Also, I bought this one, which is important. This is silicone and silicone gun. It's called silicone gun, but it's not really a gun, of course. Anyway, it's a transparent silicone, and it was in the past I had successful experiments with silicone. I mean, it's a material that is used very like the neurons can use in order to create all sorts of stuff, and it's also hard. It's getting very hard when it's out of the tube, and it's transparent or translucent at least, and which means that it's great to actually cut a slice and watch under the microscope. So I will use it with, of course, with the maybe, and also I'll use beeswax, more beeswax than before. And I'll try to create harder mixtures, and which will be like basis to the neo mixtures that will be based on the aquariums or the big containers that I already have here, and of course in the dresser, like the bottles. The idea is that I mean, I don't have to like to mix the material that is used for construction and the like the Nero juice, the Nero mixture. I don't have to mix it like in order for that to be used like as so. In order for the Nero to use the raw material, I mean, you can just put like the hard layer like beneath, and above it the more liquid layer of the Neros, and this will perhaps this maybe it will like help me create a more solid stuff, like because it's difficult for me to create like big solid stuff with the Neros, but I have done that in the past. Like when I say big, I mean non-microscopic and things that do not dissolve in your hand, and it was actually done in the past, especially in like a red container with red paint and also with silicone. So I'm going to try to recreate these kind of like experiments. I also bought like this cheap so I'll use these plastic containers, and I'll paint it red because this is the safest from my point of view, because I know that any symbolic meaning will be affected only humans. And by that point, I really, after what especially in light of what we've seen yesterday night, and the terror and the violence, I think that you all understand by now that I have like zero reservation with regards to whatever will happen to all of you. If you cared, you would have rescued me long ago. You don't care. You want me to sit like forever in the Nazi prison, to be eaten alive by the worst scum of the earth, and be detached from my daughters, and be the poorest person and the most humiliated person, while you are getting rich, and you construct your whole organizations like on top of things that belong to me by right, and of course that in return I only get advices from you, and treatment and advice, things like that, and of course the money also only is sent as usual to the Nazis in Israel. So no, and now these infectious diseases and violence, as you've seen last night, I honestly I really don't care. I just don't care. So I will use red containers, like that. I will paint red, and probably I'm not going to even think about the symbolic meaning. But whatever it is, as far as I'm concerned, whoever ate the Neros, can have it's their problem to deal with whatever it will happen to them. Probably what will happen to them is what happened to the Titans, females, which means losing the tongue if they already didn't, which is great, because the tongue is perhaps the most horrible, the most pressing issue with humanity at that point. The constant noises and the constant speech, while I am, instead of the movement of arms and legs, while I am rotting in a Nazi prison, and my children are abused by the Israeli Nazi state. So and all the while, and it's going on for years, and all the while, all of you, in the United States, in England, in other places, keep moving your tongues. This is unacceptable. It's disgusting beyond any. It can't even put to words. So yes, the tongue is definitely the worst problem, and most pressing problem right now. And if all of you will lose it, it's only be for the best. So I will use silicone and beeswax, not necessarily enriched beeswax. It takes time to enrich beeswax. Maybe I'll also enrich enriched beeswax. Put it on the side. But it will be, but it takes about a week until it's really enriched as it should be. But why not? I have the little bit enriched beeswax in there, but the way that I did it was not like the optimal way. I cut it to small pieces, and you shouldn't cut it. It's from experience. It's better that it works better when it's one big piece. The Neros have no problem walking inside of it, even though it's hard. So I don't even know why I cut it to small pieces. I wanted to make a mixture with canola oil and all sorts of stuff, but this is just it's just a fancy candle. It's like creating a fancy candle. With nice smell. I also added cinnamon, and so it smells nice. But other than looking fancy and smelling well, it's not the preferred way to create like an enriched fuel. From my experience, the preferred way is to create a solid stuff. I mean, if it's already solid, like, I mean, this lump of beeswax, then fine. But I mean, you can also melt it. I mean, mix it with like other like color of beeswax or things like that, and then wait until it's reformed, and then like place the Neros on it and let it wait. And this is the preferred way. So I'll do it as well. Why not? It's not that big of a deal, and maybe it will help for like in a week from now. So I was beginning to say that as a Nero mixture, I will use what I already have, which are here. We have quite a bit of those. Like, I mean, mostly based on the all of it mostly is based on things from the liquid aquarium. Some are a little bit changed, because of all sorts of experimentation that we actually created, and I need to do some microscopic check today to see, after a couple of days, and like what's going on over there. It's going to be interesting, but basically it's things from the aquarium, which means if everything went well, which why shouldn't it? It means that very large concentration of Neros, and also large concentration of all sorts of life forms. I would say that my agenda right now is that I'm not is to use the mixture, is to use the mixed mixture. I'm not going to try to sanitize the mixture or to kill all life forms before I'm going to use it with new experiments, like I've done before, because maybe I'll do it in the future, but it could be done relatively easy with electrolysis, because electrolysis, with relatively high voltage, kills these life forms, and the Neros are stay alive, but it's just, I'm not sure that it's actually needed, and like heavy electrolysis create like all sort of pollutions inside the liquid, because the water itself is like is separated to hydrogen and oxygen, and also other stuff might be and there is heavy erosion of the metallic rods. So the whole thing getting mixed with metal, which perhaps is helpful, but perhaps not, and I'm not sure that it's something that I need right now. It wasn't proven that it helps in any way, and it's also what is also happening is that the whole mixture is getting ionized, which is it serves and this affects you can see the effect when with how it's draws to magnetic objects, and again it might be beneficial for the construction of all sorts of things, but it might not be, and there are just too many physical questions, engineering questions here, and it just I'm not sure that it's unless I want to actually have the specific research with this regard. It's just adding too much stuff, too much questions and variables to a process that is not necessarily that complicated, because again, in order to create stuff, and I've done it before. You can just take a drop of semen for my body and put it on top of paint oil or linseed oil with pigments, and put the correct symbols above it, and wait 2 weeks or so, and you'll probably say something very nice. So you don't need that much but of course the main issue is that we want to make everything quicker, so we want to energize the Neros, and we want to use more Neros than existing in my semen or my pee naturally. So we had many. So we had all sorts of processes, engineering process to our work, but we also add many like side products that I think that my like direction now is to try to avoid it, even though they might be beneficial under certain circumstances. Like, I mean, maybe ionization is useful, I mean, for all sort of stuff. Maybe it's good because I don't know what. Maybe it's actually preferred to ionize like the mixture, but in two different like types of ionization, and then to mix the two types together. So, I mean, they will be attracted to each other. Maybe I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe galvanization is helpful because I mean it like it gives the Neo some kind of like an armor that they can use to, I don't know what. I mean, they're already probably superconductors or close to it. So, I mean, I don't see how it will help them from I mean resist from like conductivity point of view. It's probably also, I mean, can also only make them less conductive. But there's so many questions, and why do we really need it? So my direction now is to use use the mixture like as it is with like all sort of like new, I mean, mixture of raw materials, which will be as simple as possible. And I am less afraid than before of the effects of the life forms on the process. Unless it's very big ones, and we've seen like this week we've seen huge life forms. Like we've seen like one of the things that I mean was achieved, I mean, during this week is that we were able to, using, I mean, the correct process, I mean, and the correct like material and like correct transformers and correct and much better understanding of the symbolic language than before. I was able to create like life form that was so big that actually I myself was kind of afraid. Like, I mean, I'm not afraid, it's not correct word, but I mean, they were, I mean, freaking monsters, like very big things, and like huge, like, I mean, it was like jump in two scales, I would say, like 2 orders of magnitude of the things. I mean, if until now, if I've seen something like it's like that can be detected with the eye, like which is like half a centimeter. I mean, I consider that like huge life form, but now we've had things that are like 8 centimeters long, so it's like it's. So I do not. My aim now is not to create more of these, because it's kind of like a different, like, as I said many times, this is like a different research direction that is interesting, but I am not afraid of doing it, and as I said many times, I do not care at all about like environmental implications, and certainly not about implications on humanity, it's incredibly unlikely and kind of like ridiculous to think that in any way the implication will be positive, but who knows? Like at best it will be neutral, but I mean, no, it's not. So, but just, I mean, so, but I don't care, but it's too much like work, and you need to think about so many things, like how do you, okay, so yes, I've managed to create huge life forms, but what, I mean, if you want them to stay alive, like they die, I mean, because they're living creatures, they die if you don't like give them food, or, and put them like in the correct, like you can't expect them to live just, I mean, put them like wherever, I mean, they need like temperature and like environment, and so it's a whole new science that, I mean, I don't have the capacity, as I said many times, to actually deal with right now. So I'm not going to try to create larger life forms, but I'm less worried about like that the new life, like the existing life form, will actually hinder the process, because the main problem with these life forms, the existence of the life forms, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's beneficial that they are in the mixture, but the main problem is just the fact that it makes everything like less transparent and more like dirty. It makes the mixture dirty, and ideally the mixture should be like as transparent as possible, even though not white, but I mean like transparent, non-white but transparent, and smooth as possible. And all these life forms, especially if they are big, it just makes everything much more dirty. But On the other hand, I cannot remove them unless I do either. I use I use also like I add things to the mixtures like alcohol and hydrogen peroxide, which I don't have actually, or iodine, which I'm almost like ran out of it. And I'm not. And by the way, it's not certain at all that either any of those will actually kill them, because we've seen that, because the worms actually survive very, very well on this. I mean, of all of these, the only thing that that actually kills this stuff is just water. Like hydrogen peroxide, which is mostly water. But the best way that I know to kill those animals that there are different kinds of animals. The biological, the mutants, yes, they will be killed by the alcohol and iodine, but then the mixture will be like much less, like it will be diluted, and I want it to be less diluted because I want the neros. So it's a problem with dilution. And also, it might not even kill the robots, because we've seen many times that usually they're fine with this material. Actually, the best and simplest way to kill the robots, if you want to add something, is that I know of, is just to add water, which is kind of like it's amusing, but that's the way it is. I can add turpentine, but it will kill the neros. If I want to kill but water will also kill the neros. So there is not really a good way that I know of to add something to the mixture which will kill both the mutants and the robots, besides like adding turpentine, which will kill the neros as well, and I want them alive, or adding a lot of water, which will, and alcohol, and also that which will be both like detrimental for the neros, and will also make the solution much more thinner, like it will diluted. So the other way, which we've seen that actually works, is to use electricity, to use like electrolysis. But the problem with that is that when it's done, you get like a very nasty mixture that is, when under the microscope you inspect it, you see that yes, it doesn't contain life forms, like not robots, not mutants whatsoever. You just see neros, which is great, and it was good that it was established that it's a valid way to do it, and I'm happy that I've done it, and so I know that this tool is my disposal. But again, I did not solve, but this does not solve the issue of the mixture being too dirty, because what you get is even a dirtier mixture, because the life forms are shredded by electricity. I don't know what mechanism exactly, but they are shredded by the electricity. But it makes all the water even more murky than before. And in addition, the water molecules are separated to hydrogen and oxygen, and so and there is all sort of like a chemical reaction with the metal rods, and so what you get in effect, that I'm not a chemist, but it's you get something that dirty. So so this process does not solve my problem of the mixture not being smooth and transparent as hopefully I would have wanted it. Now there is another method that is actually if you want to get like a smooth mixture, which I already spoke about, which is by condensation. Like evaporation and condensation. That was method that was actually discovered by accident, by chance, because it was very warm week, like the one that we probably have now, and so So yes, it was a way to actually create a mixture which contains almost no life form and many neros, and it was actually I wouldn't say that it was clear, but it was more definitely clearer than the mixture that we start with from the aquarium. Currently, I just have added it. After I've done several experiments with it, I've re-added it to the mixture with all the life forms, because I didn't have it was more of it's like an anecdote, an important anecdote, but I don't know how to do it. Usually, of course I know how to do it. I can heat it up, but I can do it. I don't have like a stove here or any other electric or gas stove. I don't have it in my room, and I don't have money to buy one. And I can't do it. I'm not going to do such a thing, of course, in the kitchen. I'm not doing anything that relates to science outside of my room. So this option is also blocked. So I have no way to actually get like a Nero juice which is transparent or like, I mean, semi-transparent and smooth. So you might say, yes, but maybe the life forms are problematic, not only because of the fact that they are like making everything more dirty, but maybe I mean the Neros will not be able to actually differentiate between them and the symbols. And that's something that actually happened many times in the past. So I mean, it can happen, but now I actually do it much better than before. Like the way that I actually put the symbols, and it's less of a concern, even though it's still some kind of concern, and it's certainly a concern if you use a symbolic container, because I mean, but since I'm not only going to use the red ones, I really, as I said, I mean, like random creation of all sorts of like life forms inside the bodies of humans that ate the Neros are really not something that I'm going to like be worried about too much. Arguably, it only will be beneficial for everyone. And the last argument in favor of like just keeping the mixture as it is that those life forms perhaps will be actually beneficial for the construction process of other stuff, like, because I mean maybe, and this is a huge long shot. This is a huge long shot, and I'm not going to try to even actually test this hypothesis because I have no way to do it. Like, I need much more like advanced laboratory equipment to actually test it. But first of all, maybe some of them can actually help in the process of the construction itself. I mean, if they are mutants, no, but if they are robots, perhaps they do. If they are robotics, they are robots, and so maybe they can like help, like give you a helping hand. Like, I mean, you might find like the notion of like microscopic robots, like bacterias, like, or microbes, like, or like small like squids or sausages, like, or Ebola shaped, like, or like corona shapes microbes that are robots that actually help to create like things like rings or gold. You might find it ridiculous, but on the same note, you might find like, so, but you can find all, I mean, so, but I mean, so why wouldn't you find the notion of like robotic microbes that are in the shape of rings that create such stuff, which we already see that they can do ridiculous? I mean, I would say that both are ridiculous to the same extent. I mean, so you can say, yes, but the microbes, like the robotic microbes, were created by the Neros. But I would say, but the Neros were also created by the Neros. Either, like, I mean, by multiplication, like in a natural, ecology, or by like explicit command with the help of like electricity, like electric charge. But either way, they were created by the Neros as well. I mean, either way, I mean, the construction will be carried out by robots that were created by the Neros. So the only question is that whether these robots must look like Neros, or maybe they can look like Ebolas as well. I mean, I don't know. It's not out of them. I mean, maybe. I mean, I cannot prove it, but maybe. So if this is the case, then why should they kill like the workers? I mean, maybe they are beneficial. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe yes. Maybe not. I don't know. And also, maybe this is less outlandish. Is that maybe the Neros can use them as raw material, because they can certainly use them as raw material to create other Neros, or in other words, they can eat them. So maybe they can use them as raw material. So that's why I don't see like a very good reason to try to just sanitize like the mixtures before. I mean, I'll try to create new stuff. So, as I said before, a couple of days ago, I think that it wasn't like a very good idea to just give them the command to create like a ring, because they obviously, I mean, from what they have done, and they have done like several steps or like on the way, it was too like, I mean, it was too abstract and like like their advancement were too naive. It makes much more sense from any point of view, and like unless you want to look like to fall to the trap that and to regard the whole like project like as some kind of magic. But but we are not doing magic. We are doing science, albeit like alien science, that is based on fundamentals that we do not really understand. But it should be said that this is true to almost every engineering work. I mean, yes, engineers and like electricians and like and workers in assembly lines and like they almost always like do stuff like that is based on scientific principles that are completely alien to them, even though they are known to some humans, which is not the case in what I do now. But in practice, it's not that different. Like, I mean, you can go to I don't know any like iPhone or like Android manufacturing like facility in China or wherever. I mean, most of the workers, if not all of them, are not versed in like quantum physics that was needed to in order to I don't know to create them. I don't know to establish the engineering like paradigm that was like necessary for the creation of microprocessors that they actually create like construct in that facility. So I mean, it makes more sense to separate. Like, I mean, to first of all, I mean, to do it step by step and to imitate like nature, like to imitate how it's done, nature, like in the extended like sense. Like, I mean, nature is like both like that contains both like I mean, like things that like happened like by physical forces and on planets, and also things that I mean are traditionally done by humans or by like creatures with with sentient like thought. Which means that, I mean, first of all, you need the raw material. And so the raw material for gold is gold, which would be amazing if they can create gold. And as I said, the problem is that I'm not sure that even if they do, I'm not sure like, how can I actually know that it's gold. I mean, it's going to be difficult to actually know. I mean, if they create like, I mean, like gold powder, I mean, even if like a substantial amount and that will be visible in the eye, and even if I can touch it, like, I mean, and like, I mean, I mean, how would I know that it's actually gold? I don't have any way to do it, and that's a problem. It's a classical problem, but it's a problem. And like, and another thing that I want them to create is raw diamonds, which would be, as I said many times, less amazing, even though very amazing, but less amazing. It's going to be amazing, but just less amazing because, I mean, diamonds are made out of elements that are readily available, and I mean, it's still amazing that they can like they can tinker with the elements and create new molecules in a way that, I mean, like in a very specific way, because I mean, diamond is not identical to sugar, but in order to create gold out of like non-existent gold elements, you need to tinker with the atoms in the subatomic levels, or like or in other ways you need to deal with protons, and humans actually know how to do it, but it requires a ton of energy. This is done, I think, traditionally by super colliders like the ones that the famous one in Geneva, but it requires a ton of energy, and like I mean if like the neurods could be able to do it, I mean, without almost no energy at all, besides, I mean, whatever like voltage that I use, like current that I supply them with, like home transformer, this will be like another miracle. I mean, like where is the energy coming from? Because there is so much energy that is needed in order to actually do it, like to change like the the number of protons like in an atom, and to create elements. And as I said, I mean, the humans know how to do it, but it is extremely like inefficient. I mean, yes, I mean, you can create, I mean, yes, you can technically. I mean, yes, you can. Humans know how to create, like, I mean, like a coin that is made out of pure gold without having zero gold, like, in the process. But I mean, it will cost. I mean, the energy cost will be so high that it will be much higher than the worth, or like the price of like this coin of gold. So no one actually do it because it doesn't make sense. Like, but I mean, for diamond, it's kind of like a less from the energy perspective. It's just it's less of a miracle because you don't need to change like the number of like protons in the atom, but you still need to do amazing stuff in very small scale. Yes, but so this will be my. But again, how even if it will actually happen and I will get something. I mean, how will they know that it's actually a raw diamond? Probably it's going to be difficult because I have no like experience with such things. But whatever they will create will be interesting, and I'm sure that all of us will be happy to see documentation of whatever is being created, especially if it's non microscopic. If it's something that you can see with your own eyes, it's going to be very interesting. And so I mean, whatever they will create, hopefully they will create something. I mean, my idea is that I mean to use another like a separate step for the refinement of these objects, which means like take the gold and like do I mean like create like a nugget like from the powder. I mean, assuming they will create powder, I don't know. I mean, I just assume they create powder, but maybe it's the wrong assumption and they're going to create nugget. But if they actually create like the powder, so maybe you need like to make a nugget out of it and like in like. And then just create ring out of it. And then for the diamond, they actually need to cut it, which is a question of like how can it be done. But I think that out of all the steps, this could be proved to be the easiest for them because I mean they already shown many times that they are amazing with cutting in like amazing precision. And this was like we've seen them like literally doing million cuts, like I mean, like geometric cuts, like in all sorts of like microscopic material on the slides. I mean, that was shown many times. So it was proven that they can do like they are very good at cutting like material in geometric shape, like in very small like precision. And so this might be proved to be like the easiest thing. But let's I mean. We will be smarter when we get there. Now, regarding electricity, I'm still going to use electrolysis. As I said many times, I wish I had a better option, but in order to conduct research with better options, I need more material. It's very difficult without money, and I just find it too difficult to do it without any money. Because I need like even basic stuff like voltage meters, ampere meters, and things like that. I don't have it, and so yeah, we will stick to electrolysis. What I will try to do now, something that I haven't done in the past, is maybe I will I'll try a new concept of like a very very large amount of rods, like I mean like something like I mean. For a short, like a small container like this one, like maybe I don't know, like I mean 10 like 10 like positive rods on 20 neutral rods. So it will be like I mean like a bed that is made out of like nails, like many like short nails. That will stick from the bottom. So we need to actually see how to seal it. We have a problem with sealing. Maybe I'll use the silicone that I bought. And the idea is not to create like circuits with I mean with very high with relatively high voltage, but many circuits that I mean parallel circuits that of course the voltage will be distributed between all of it, so each will be very weak, but even 1 volt is enough in order to greatly, amplify the work of neurons, and it was shown many times. So it's not that 1 volt is not enough. It's just that we want to use more than 1, because we have the ability. So maybe just a very large amount of relatively low voltage circuits will actually be proved to be more successful, for the creation of material objects. So some kind of technical work is required in order to actually do it and to seal the thing probably, so it will not just create holes in the container. So I'm going to work on it. So that's the plan. And I really hope that someone in this world will wake up and understand that I need to be rescued from the Nazi prison, me and my daughters. And each day that we live inside this hell, which is called Israel, is another day that you do great injustice to the representative of another civilization which is much more advanced than you are. And this was proven many times. This is beyond the need of any proof. So you just need to move arms and legs. There is no one to speak with in Israel. This is a land of lizard people. There is nothing to converse with those lizard people. You just need to move your arms and legs. That's it.